Hi guys, welcome to Sweet and Sour Soccer with me, James and Scott. We've just lost 2-0 to Southampton, FA Cup. Chance to go through to the quarterfinals. Scott, really bizarre lineup. We said that before the game.
Yeah.
Crack on. Where do we begin?
Where do we begin? 12 points off relegation, 10 points off seventh. You say 10 points off seventh, Everton have 2 games in hand. So why a weakened lineup? I can't justify it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Why haven't we prioritized this FA Cup run? Why is it not a priority? Like I don't understand the decision, and I'm sure people will make excuses for him because you can't accuse Nuno of doing anything wrong, can you? But absolutely ridiculous decision. I'm angry. I'm angry with the decision.
Yeah.
Okay, the FA Cup's hard. In terms of all the big teams, there's still big teams left in it. For example, City are still in it, probably favourites to win. But it was our only chance of European football. You can't tell me we've got any chance of European football through the league.
No.
12 points off relegation. I mean, look how poor the bottom 3 have been. I know, Albion managed to beat us, but yeah, apart from that, the bottom 3 have been terrible. I mean, we're probably 6 more points this year, 9 at most away. And look, if we can't get 3 wins from the remaining games we've got, then we don't deserve to be in the league anyway. So I just don't have any excuse for that lineup. I don't know if you're the same, but I'm annoyed.
Yeah, I'm fuming. I really am. Like you say, we're not going to go down, and if we do go down, we deserve to go down. What worries me about this is Nuno thinking we can? Does Nuno think we can go down this season? If he believes that, then that's worrying. I saw the lineup and I thought, oh wow, it can't be a case of giving players game time because this is really the only thing we've got left. This is just a dead season now for the remaining 15, 16 games. And it's not just the lineup. The tactics in the game, it must be Nuno that's told them to play that high line. The first goal, I know Kilman's keeping him on by 20, 25 centimetres, but we've got 66% of our centre backs today are midfielders. Let's not get it twisted. This isn't Fabinho, who's a top class player, or Henderson, who can slip in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
They've been playing this role on and off now for 2 seasons, dropping into the defence because we've got 3 centre backs in the league. It's just embarrassing. We've got videos coming out that talk about the lack of centre backs, but today just goes to show it. The second goal, it's another mistake by Donks. He's had an awful season. Maybe another player that has just been, riding the last 2 seasons how well we've played. Raul maybe has made him look a lot better than he is. He's been shocking this season. Yes, Ruddy could have put his foot through that ball, and he should have. But he made the mistake. He gets the blocking, and then he's out of position for the goal. It's a good finish, yeah. But for me, Nuno has to take this one. This is on Nuno.
Yeah, it is on him. It is. I mean, let's face it, Dendonker's not a centre-back. And I think that showed early on. I think there was a ball that went over his head, and it was the one that played in Ings. If you remember, he tried to do that almost karate kick, I'd call it, into the goal, and I think it was blocked by. I think it was Kilman. Was it Size that one? Size that blocked that one. Dendonker's not a defender. He's not played there in a good while either. I don't know why he was put there. I mean, look, he's played there in the past, but it just didn't make sense to me. I kind of hoped when I saw the lineup, maybe the Wolves admin had got it wrong and we're actually going with a back 4 and then a 3-man midfield of Dendonker, Neves, Moutinho. I mean, we spoke on our other videos when we play 2 in midfield, we just get overrun in midfield all the time. And it happened again. We just got absolutely, and you're playing 2-man midfield, which means you're giving space to people like Ward-Prowse. I mean, that first 20 minutes, he just tore us apart. And he is the exact player we need and we don't have. I mean, going back to the lineup, you play Ventina, you play Gibbs, and you play them both as wingers. They're not wingers, they're number 10s.
That was evident with Vitina, and I thought
Yep.
Vitina was one of our best players today. I think he did really well. I might be mistaken, but I think it was it himself who managed to get the ball through to Matinho in the first half, and he just misses that ball through to Fabio.
Yeah.
I thought he played well, but the problem is he's not a natural winger from what I can see and from what I know about him. That was evident because Johnny had really no service down that left-hand side anymore. Johnny, I thought, played really well, but
yes, he did.
He's just not natural on that left-hand side. He kept coming in, which it's not his fault. Again, it just a really bizarre lineup from Nuno today, and I put this one on him. There were individual mistakes on players, which that's going to cost you games. But between playing a high line against one of the fastest attacks in the league, thank God Walcott wasn't playing. Whether I don't know if he's injured or not, but if he was playing today, that scoreline could have easily been doubled.
And what's really worrying as a Wolves fan at the moment, you go 1-0 down and you sat there, and I just lost interest, I'll be honest. I lost interest even when Neto Adama and William Jose came on. I kind of didn't have any interest because I thought we've conceded now. That's it.
Game over. If we don't keep clean sheets,
unless they suddenly got 2 men sent off again, like Arsenal did, and then we might have had a chance of scoring, because that's the only time we seem like scoring at the moment. When the team's at a disadvantage.
First shot on target, 79th minute.
Says it all, doesn't it?
You can do those. You can do in-play bets, can't you? I think on the certain sites that do it. First shot on target and things like that. And halfway through the game, halfway through the first half, I was thinking, do I put a fiver on our first shot being the last 10 minutes of the game or something? I'd have probably lost out by a minute. But it's how I took a screenshot of a stat at first half. At the end of the first half, 0 attempts, not on target, 0 attempts. They had 7 with 2 on target. Granted, there weren't many clear-cut chances. I think it was Redmond in the first half at the back post had that one that he kind of fluffed. But how we expect to win games of football? It doesn't matter what game you choose, really, since Raul's injury. If we've had any games this season where we've had more than 5 shots on target, I'd love to know what game that was.
Probably Arsenal.
Did we have 5 shots on target against Arsenal?
God, if we didn't have 5 shots on target against 9 men, Christ! But
we dominated the ball in the last 10 minutes with not much. But I mean, coming back to today, the season's done. Don't think we'll go down. If we do, someone's got to pull off one of the greatest escapes in Premier League history.
Oh, I mean, if we go down to the 3 that are in the relegation zone at the moment, we deserve to go down, and it'd be an absolute. Do you know what? It'd be a bigger disgrace than when we went down from the Premier League last time. Because I don't think that team was too good to go down. This team really is too good to go down. I don't think we will. Let's be honest.
No, I don't.
So why did he choose this team today? I don't understand it. I really don't. And I'm sure people will blame. Let's face it. They'll go at Fabio Silva. They'll go at Gibbs, and they'll probably go at Ventina as well. Although he'll probably get let off the hook with Wolves fans. I actually thought all 3 of them in the first half didn't have a terrible game. I think Fabio needs to work on his hold-up play, but he did still have some decent moments. Gibbs, I thought Gibbs looked like he wanted. He was probably our most creative player for me in the first half. He tried a couple of things and things didn't come off. Same with Ventina, but the problem is 3 players that had never played together. All young, the oldest of them being Ventina, who was 22, not had much game time. And the support they got going forward, I think, was really minimal. And, you can't blame them. And in the similar way, although they didn't have great games when they come on, I think Neto did quite well, actually. But you can't blame that 3 anyway. I mean, going back to the subs, right? we're 1-0 down.
Yeah.
And he sticks with 5 at the back. Why? That 5 at the back had meant we created nothing, as you just pointed out. First shot on target in the 79th minute. Why?
Yeah.
Why, when we're chasing, this is a 1-game FA Cup match, as he's decided, I'm going to stick with the 5 at the back.
Maybe because he knows we're not going to score 2 goals in a game. It's unlikely Southampton were going to go down to 9 men at that point. It's
He
very
threw in the
unlikely.
towel pretty much.
I just think maybe so. Nuno's never been known for going for it, whether we've been 1-0 down in the 80th minute or 1-1. It's always been a case of we see the game out. We see the game out. I want to pull it back to something you said a couple of minutes ago. What's the reason he's done this lineup for today? Do you remember when, I think it was 2009 or 2010, one of those seasons where Mick brought us up? Mick, it wasn't in the FA Cup, but Mick made 10 changes. I think it was against United because we had.
Was that the League Cup? Oh, no, it was the league.
I think it was the league.
League.
And because in the league, you're not allowed to. The rules are in the league. You must play your strongest team.
That's it. Yeah.
There's no real way of like monitoring that, because you can say injuries to this player and injuries to that player, whatever. But he made 10 changes. I'm sure it was 10 changes in the league. We got battered by United, we lost the game. We had West Ham 2 days later, and we beat them. I think Matt Jarvis scored both goals. I think we beat them 2-0. But that was because of fighting relegation, and we stayed up that year. Why would Nuno do it today? Why?
It doesn't make sense to me. And one thing we do have to say now is, Nuno, you've chose to play a weakened team for this game. No excuses. No excuses at the weekend for me. We have to get 3 points now, because if we don't, what was the point? What was the point?
But even if we don't beat Southampton, if we beat Southampton, we may go up 1 place, maybe. If we lose to Southampton, we're probably not going to go down the league anyway. So I just, the chance to get to a quarter final. I know there's a lot of big teams left in there, but anything can happen in the FA Cup. Anything can happen. We might have got Everton in the next round. We might have avoided a bigger team. Chelsea play later. They're Barnsley, is it? Well,
but Barnsley, isn't it? Yeah, and
they could pull that off. I can't. Tuchel might not want to go for a strong 11. They might pull it off. We might get Barnsley. We might get to get through to against Barnsley, and you've got an FA Cup semi-final. To me, it's an odd one.
And a chance for the lads to play at Wembley as well. And I know the fans wouldn't be there, but it's a historic stadium for a lot of professional footballers, and to at least say they got to a semi-final of the cup, I think it would have gave fans, even if we only got to the semi-final, it would have gave us something to be happy about on what's been a pretty dry season. I mean, so far this season, mid-table's fine. We've lost to West Brom. I mean, even if we beat them, for me, in the second game rather, I still won't be over the moon.
Just pride is whether you're already relegated or whether you're going for the title. You just have to win those derbies. But also, what people might be missing is that the semi-finals, I mean, yes, we would have to get through the quarter-final, granted, but buts and maybes, if we did get there, April, the semi-finals, could well be back for that.
That's true. That's also true.
Positive reports coming out from Nuno and the medical staff constantly about his progress.
It looks good, doesn't it? Training by himself, as you say, maybe even a month or two. We could, you could see him. I really don't get the decision today. I mean,
the season's officially over.
Is there anything else, or shall we move straight on to the player ratings?
The season's officially over. If we do go down, at least it'll be interesting, because it'll be some roller coaster if we go down from here. And I think if we were to get 7th, I mean, we've pulled off one of the greatest miracles, apart from, like Leicester and that.
It won't happen.
Of course not. But
the only thing I can say for Nuno is maybe, just maybe, he's a bit fearful of Fulham. Got a game in hand on us. If they do win that, they're only 9 points off us. But 9 points in this season, when you look at how many points they've got so far is a massive gap still. Very confusing. I mean, let's move on to the player ratings, and let's actually start with the manager. When we spoke so much about him, I think it links well to actually give our rating for Nuno. What have you gone for?
Nuno, I mean, this could be the lowest rating I'd give him maybe in his time here. I'll give Nuno a 3 today. Line up poor. I've got no idea, and from what I've seen on pages and forums and speaking to fans in general, no one hasn't, from what I can see, no one has a reason why he has chosen this lineup. You can't say that certain players aren't fit, apart from Johnny. Otherwise, in my opinion, they shouldn't be on the bench. If Neto's not fit, why isn't he playing? If Adama's not fit, and I'm not his biggest fan, why isn't he playing? Yeah, 3 for me. Tactics, wrong. Lineup, one of the worst lineups I've seen under his time here. Yeah, 3 for me. What about you?
Yeah, I've gone slightly lower in a 2, but the exact same sentiment. You know, the lineup didn't make sense. We've gone over that. I also think the substitutions are a bit predictable.
Again, no change.
Look, you've got to put on Adama, Neto, and William Jose. I get that, but
yeah,
I don't get when we're chasing. We haven't created anything. We hadn't created anything. Why didn't he switch to a back 4 and just risk it? For me, that didn't make sense to me. It just really didn't. No. I mean, you might have a different view, but for me, that just didn't make sense. So I can't give him any higher. 2 or 3, fair enough. I mean, I can't really see any fans giving him higher than what you've gave him a 3 tonight. You know, he didn't really do anything well.
No, I mean, Nuno's not renowned for making early substitutions. The only one he did make is because of Johnny's fitness.
Yeah,
he doesn't make a change at half time unless it's needed. It's not for tactical reasons. But yeah, Nuno for me a 3 today. Moving on to Ruddy. I've got a lot to say about him. What would you go for? We'll go for you first.
Well, to be honest, at the time I'd actually scored him an 8 until, you know, the situation at the end, and I thought I can't score him that highly after that. So I've had to go for a 6, but it could quite easily be a 7. You know, I think he had a solid game. I liked how, you know, early in the game, Ward-Prowse crosses, there was a few times where he actually came out and claimed the box, punching the ball away, which is something I feel we miss at times under Patricio. Very lucky for Ings' goal. You know, he made a really good save. Unfortunately, it just hits off him, unluckily, and, you know, they go 1-0 up. I thought he made some good saves in general. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, he made that save one-on-one, obviously. Really good save. Shuffles his feet well, narrows that angle to the far post. I think it comes off the side of him. Yeah, a few shaky moments in the first half. There was a shot, I can't remember who it was by, but as he catches it, he did it 2 or 3 times. He tends to bounce it before he catches it, and it almost went wrong. At the end, you know, I touched on it a few minutes ago. He made the mistake from a very poor pass from Dendoncker.
Dendoncker, yeah, that's true.
I've given him a 7, like you said, commanding. Something that we don't really get from Rui. Corners coming in, getting both fists on it, and if he's not punching it away, he's claiming it. I've given him a 7. Probably would have gone for an 8, bar that at the end. But
yeah, same.
If that one-on-one goes in, you think the game's over there as well. So yeah, I mean, I've given him a 7. He's probably going to be one of the highest rated players of the day so far. Let's move on to let's start with Johnny, because he came off at half time. For me, 7. For the time,
I've gone for the exact same.
Yeah, I can only judge him on the first half. He's come off not because he's playing poorly. He came off because of his fitness. 7 for me, solid. Didn't get to see much of his attacking tonight, just because obviously Vitina wanted to drift in, which is again understandable. He's just solid. You can just see why we've missed him for so long.
Yeah, exactly that. I went for a 7 as well. Defensively, very good. I thought, as you say, solid. That just that defines him, doesn't it, really, with Johnny? And going forward, as you say, we didn't see a lot of it, but I think we saw enough to see that when he does have that proper winger Neto on the left, he's going to build some promising moments going forward, as well as being solid defensively. So yeah, 7.
Yep.
Moving on to, let's move on to Hoover at right back, or right wing back. Again, probably, joint highest rating in a 7 for me. Again, I thought he played very well, looks very promising, could perhaps challenge Semedo for that right wing back position. We spoke about before how we got him for, I think it was about around the £8 million mark. Looks an absolute bargain. Looks a bargain. I think he's going to be a great player and still very, very young. I thought he had a very, very solid game. Couple of errors here and there, but nothing that, resulted in a major mistake. How about yourself?
Yeah, I completely agree. Got into a few good promising positions, put a few good balls into the box. If you think, we've got a more established striker there, someone with a bit more confidence, something more might have happened there. Defensively, I think he was good today. Didn't really get caught out. Obviously, we're playing against a good team. He's not gonna win every challenge, obviously. But yeah, I think he's shown more this game than Semedo has in for a lot of games, in terms of a 90-minute performance. So yeah, I've got no problems if he starts the next league game against Southampton.
Yeah.
Maybe Nuno's thinking about that. Maybe he wants to play him today. Maybe he's got plans of playing him in the league game. But yeah, I'd go for a 7 as well. More than happy. To move on to the first of the centre backs, let's start with Kilman. Let's go back to the left hand side. For me, not the worst player on the pitch. Few good interceptions. Again, he was one playing Danny Ings on side for the goal. Spoken to a few people who are completely blaming him for that. I'm more blaming Nuno for the high line. Why we're playing such a high line against such a quick attack with such low defenders, it's beyond me. It's just all gone wrong today. If anything that could have gone wrong, it has. Poor passes, poor tactics, not taking our chances. But I'm not going to blame Kilman too much for that. There's 15 to 20 centimetres in that. It is his fault technically, but I'm not going to say he's the reason that goal goes in. So for me, I'll give him a 5.
Yeah, I gave an exact same, a 5 as well. As you say, he did play him on side. I think it would have probably been a touch higher if he hadn't have done. He was probably on route for a 7 maybe, but with that major mistake, you've got to give him no more than a 5. Didn't have a terrible game, some good blocks, especially in the early moments. Very solid defender in general this season. I've touched on the fact as well that I think at 4 at the back, he might be a good partner for Bolly long term if Cody can't adapt to that 4 at the back. And then I guess moving straight on to Sice, I've given him a 6. I thought he did quite well. Some good blocks. Not too much to say about Sice, to be honest. Just a very, very solid 6 out of 10 performance.
Yeah, this is probably going to be one of the quickest ones. I'll give him a 6. Good block against Ings. Won most of his battles. He's not a defender, so he's playing in that middle. He didn't captain the team today, but you've got to think he was probably the one that was trying to organise things. I'll give him a 6. Moving on to the last centre back, Dendoncker. For me today, I'm going to give him a. I'm going to give him a 3.
3, okay.
not a good game. He's been poor all season. I'm trying not to base that on this game. I don't really have an agenda against Donks as I do other players, but Donks is just it's hard to criticise him too much because it's not his position, but you've got to think that passing is your game. It's meant to be one of your games. That pass to Ruddy was awful. Shocking ball.
Yes.
Why hasn't he put he was at fault for exactly the same reason as Ruddy was. That he should have just cleared it. Ruddy should have cleared it, but so should Donks. Why are you giving it to him there? Why are you giving it to him there? We're penned into our box. There's 3 or 4 players around us. I can't remember why we got into that position in the first place. Towards the end, I was just that livid with it. But yeah, for me, it's a 3. I don't think he's played well all season, and today he hasn't won me back.
Yeah, it was a horrible ball, wasn't it, for Ruddy to deal with? Obviously, he didn't choose the right way to deal with it, and it did cost us. But it was, it was a quick ball, a bouncing ball, and I've given him a 4, so just higher. If he was an actual centre back, it probably would have been a 3, same as you. But I almost feel sorry for him having to play that position because he's been played as a 10 at times. Well, not a 10, but he's been when we've played a 2-man midfield, he's been used as that box to box, having to break into the box and get forward. But then he's asked to play a centre back role. I mean, as we've touched on before, Roberto Martinez, the Belgian coach, has said he can play that centre back role. But for me, no, he's not a centre back. He's a midfielder. Yeah, so as you say, I don't have an agenda against Donks. It was just a bad game for him. Moving on to the midfield, Neves. To be honest, I've gone for a 6. I didn't think he had a terrible game. I thought the first half we saw parts of him. We saw the best of him in terms of his long range balls, And if we'd had maybe a Neto or a Dharma on, we might have seen a chance created. I thought, especially playing in a 2-man midfield, he managed to create space for himself quite well in the first half. His passing was quite good, did what he needed to defensively. Obviously, we saw at the end the free kick, which was a genuine chance, and I think he barely got it above their knees, didn't he? Obviously, we spoke about his free kicks, and in one of our other videos, we talk about that we might as well. I think you said you might as well just punt it out from a throw in, so we could actually box them in and create something.
Shocking, man.
Whether look, for me, maybe should be took off free kick. I think he's in that much of a rut of them. There's got to be someone else. I actually watched a YouTube video the other day, and I know it's a YouTube video, so it's a lot easier, but there was a video of Max Kilman taking free kicks very well. Not saying that it should be him, but yeah, I'd probably take him off free kicks. He just doesn't pose any danger anymore. He's lost his technique, and, just let him get back to the training ground with those. How have you scored Neves?
Give him a 5.
5, yeah.
I don't think he did too wrong. No, I don't think he did too much wrong. Didn't do too much right. I'm not even going to mark him down based on the free kick because I think it's just getting to the point now where
it's expected.
Well, you mentioned there he's just in a bit of a rut.
Yeah.
Is he? When was his last one?
Well,
Everton, first game of the season. I think we talk about it in a different video. I think his last free kick was against Everton, first game of the season when we first came up, that 2-2 draw. Is that a rut? You don't score a free kick in 2 years, and surely the anomaly is if he scores.
Yeah, I can take that point.
That's the odd thing, and it's not like he's only taking 5 or 10 a season. He takes all of them, unless Xiao takes a couple, and the ones that Matinho does take, he scores anyway. So for me, Neves, it's getting to the point now where it's almost bullying by the staff, whoever's doing our tactics.
Whoever's making him take them. I mean, as you say, Matinho can take them, Neto can take them as well.
It's got to the point now where you just think with these free kicks, where's the line? What have the backroom staff got to see before Neves is taken off free kicks? Is 2 years not long enough? Do we wait until he hasn't scored until he's 26, 27 and then go, do you know what? You're probably not very good at these. I don't know what to do anymore. I was on my phone when he took his free kick and I thought I should watch this in case it flies in the top corner.
You might as well just stayed on your phone.
I kind of caught it out of the corner of my eye and I don't get excited. Teams get excited when they get a free kick outside the box. It's just a
I mean, if
waste
it
of.
was Ward-Prowse, we'd be excited, wouldn't we?
I think almost anyone, or
Yeah.
almost anyone. Yeah, I just five for
Let's
me.
move
Free
on to
kick shot
Moutinho.
finishing. Yeah, move on to Zhao. For me, I thought he was one of our better players. Ran his socks off again. Tackles, interceptions when he got the ball. I don't remember him giving it away. If he did, maybe once. He made a lot of things tick. I know we don't have a lot going forward, but that's not his fault. I think he did his job today. I'm going to give Zhao a 7. I think he played
Oh,
well.
right, okay. I'll see. This is the one where we've probably gone a bit different to each other. I've actually gone for a 5, which is less than Neves. Um, as you
I
say,
thought he
didn't have a bad game defensively. Interceptions, I thought he did well. I thought there was a chance in the first half, wasn't there, where Fabio actually made a really good run, and uh, I really thought he should have
Yeah,
played him in there. I don't get how he put it straight to the defender, and I think
I
that's definitely come into my rating. But we've spoken before on this channel, haven't we? I mean, the video might not be out yet, but the fact that we need a proper number 10, or, we need a player, a proper number 10, because a proper number 10's there. In fact, even if Ventina or even Gibbs were actually in the centre of midfield at that moment in time, they maybe find Fabio where Martino doesn't. Again,
yeah,
maybe not his fault, but that's the role he's been given to play. He's got to do, as much attacking as the work he's done defensively. So that's why I just went straight down the middle with a 5. Moving on to Gibbs, because I've just mentioned him. I actually gave him a 6 for me. Very,
I
very,
don't argue with that. I
very,
don't know.
very decent first half for me. You've got to remember he hasn't had much game time. He was in a position he wasn't supposed. He's naturally not a left winger.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing in a 3 that had never played together and haven't seen many minutes. I mean, Fabio's seen quite a few minutes, but they've never actually played together. Gibbs and Ventina haven't really seen a lot of football this season. And yeah, for me, Gibbs didn't have a bad first half. I was a bit confused that he was the first player to come off. You know, obviously Ventina comes off 5 minutes late, so it didn't make a lot of difference. I would have liked to seen one of them have a bit of time in a natural position for me.
Yeah.
What did you?
I don't disagree with a 6. I think he was one of the players that, and there aren't many on the pitch to try, but I think he did what he could. He got isolated out there on the right. It's not his favoured position. Um, we know a part of Gibbs's game is giving the ball away. He does try things. He just hasn't got the technical ability of someone like Bruno who gives the ball away so much. But when it comes off, it comes off. There's a player in there in Gibbs White. There's no coincidence how when he starts to get a run of games at Swansea, he starts to really play well, and they're begging for him back. He's not going to get time in this team. Neto, Podence, Adama. There's so many players ahead of him. I'd like to see him get a full season somewhere, whether it be a team that just comes up to the Prem, who can guarantee him minutes, or in the Championship. He has to get game time. I'm not going to be too harsh on Gibbs White. I thought he did okay today. So yeah, I'd replicate that as well with a 6. On the other side, Vitina, not his position. We've touched on him once or twice in the video. For me, again, one of our best players. I think he tried. Again, it's not his favourite position. Wants to play in the centre of the midfield. He's not going to get that chance, because when we do play a 3-man midfield, it's normally 3 defensive players, which falls back on Nuno. I think he linked up well. He looks to be able to glide past players quickly. I don't think he's the fastest, but I can really see him playing that number 10 role. I'm not even going to talk about him playing on the wing today, because I don't think he's going to play there much. I can't see him making that a position of his own. There's no way he's going to get past Neto. Neto is one of the best young players in the league, if not the best young player up there with Saka. So I can't really judge him too much today. I'll give him a 7. I think when he had the ball, he did well.
Yeah, I went for a 5. I went for a 5, to be honest. Yeah, as you say, he looked good when the parts we saw of him. I don't think it was his best performance. I know we haven't seen a lot of him anyway, but it wasn't his best performance. But probably not to blame for that. Probably not to blame. You know, as you say, he was playing in a wing position. One thing, you know what, he was out on that. He was out on the. Was he out on the right or the left? It was the left, was it?
He was on the left, but he
Left,
didn't
yeah.
really give much assistance
I,
to
I was
John.
gonna I was gonna say something then, but because I was gonna mention he had a bit of an Adama in him the first half, and you know, in terms of he did fall over quite a bit. He spent quite a bit of time on the ground. I was gonna say maybe it's that side, but obviously he was playing the opposite side to Adama. But yeah, I just thought he spent quite a bit of time on the ground, probably why he's not got as high as rating as what you've gave him for me. Thought he, yeah, but as you say, he definitely has some talent in there. I'd actually like to see, you know, I've spoke about us going to a 4 at the back as soon as we've got, you know, safety confirmed, so we can look to build on hopefully what Nuno wants to do and giving us that extra player going forward. I'd actually like to see him and Gibbs share a bit of time there, you know, towards the close of the season, so Nuno can make an informed decision on him and Gibbs actually. You know, look, we won't go too much into his release clause at the moment, but you know, we can't judge it at the moment. We haven't seen enough of him. And we'll
No.
move on. So we'll move on to Fabio.
Yep.
I've gave him a 4 today. He
Really?
didn't play great. And look, the problem is I could base this on, if I actually base it on the fact that he's an 18-year-old and he shouldn't be playing, really getting the game time he's had to have, you know, I could score him higher, but I've put everyone on equal field today. I've gave him a 4. I thought he did some parts well, you know, in the first half. For me, he didn't really, you know, he didn't really do great. He didn't link up well, and he missed the chance, didn't he? And you look, you know, obviously when the attackers video, which will come out later in the week, I praised him a lot there for doing a role which he shouldn't really be doing. You know, we've still only got 2 fit strikers. We started the season with 2 fit strikers, and we still only got 2 fit strikers. And Fabio's playing too much game time for me in his first season as an 18-year-old. But I just had to judge him on the reality of how he did in this game. So it was a 4 for me. I don't really like scoring him that low, but
yeah, I think that's harsh. I'll give him a 6. I thought he worked hard again. He was going in for everything. He took so many knocks today. James Ward-Prowse should have been booked for the challenge on him. I think it was him. It was him. Yeah, that challenge halfway up his shin. He should have got booked for that. He put his body on the line today. He was chasing everything. Put pressure. They made a mistake at the back, which obviously came to his chance again in the right position at the right time. He was chasing down Forster. Should have done better with a chance, but he's in that position. From what I've seen of Jose, we'll come on to Jose in a minute. I've seen nothing of him in the last 3 or 4 games. But I thought Fabio did well today. He made that run for Moutinho's pass. It didn't reach him, but if it does, he's 1-on-1.
Yeah, I'd give him that. Yeah,
you never know what.
maybe a 5.
Well, I mean, you never know. Maybe he wouldn't have finished that. You can't imagine with his confidence he's going to run 30 yards and slot it past him.
True.
Probably not. But you never know. Should have done better with a chance, yes, granted. But I mean, I saw there's obviously a famous page. I don't know if we can mention them. We'll find out. But there's a famous page when that was missed, and there was a comment on there that said, "Look at what Ronaldo." It was Ronaldo, Michael Owen, and Wayne Rooney. Look at what they were doing when they were 18. I mean, and we all know that Wolves fans are morons anyway, and they some of the most embarrassing fans in the country. But so the premise is, if you're not as good as Ronaldo when he was 18, you're garbage.
Yeah.
Michael Owen was one of the best players his age group for the last 30 years. He won the Ballon d'Or. He scored goals at World Cups when he was 18.
Who was the third player, sorry? Rooney, was it?
Rooney, one of the best, arguably the best Manchester United player of all time. Their highest ever goal scorer. England's highest ever goal scorer. Ronaldo is arguably the best player of all time. So effectively, if you're not on their level by the age of 18, you're shit. It's a fan
Yeah,
base is
yeah.
embarrassing. And I just hope Silva's not got social media, because if he reads these comments, it's a good thing he can't speak English, because this will kill it. If
I
we're not
think
going to
he
get
can.
many
I
views.
think he actually can.
Oh, can he? Oh,
Yeah, I think his English is all right, to be honest. As you say, hopefully he doesn't
I
take
can't
it to
believe
heart.
it. I mean, I know we're not going to get many views for these videos for the first few months or whatever, and hopefully he's smashing the goals in when we do get bigger. But if he's reading these comments online, then it's just going to kill him, man.
I'd definitely side with that. I've not gave him a good rating today, but you need to give this lad time. As I've said before, I more blame the fact we started with 2 fit strikers and we still only got 2 fit strikers.
But you're not
You know?
writing him off as a player. I'm seeing people write this guy off.
Oh no, ridiculous, ridiculous. Look, with the substitutes, should we just quickly give our ratings? Because I'm conscious that the video has gone on quite a bit. We
Yeah.
don't really want to
Um,
bore people too much. So I'll just give my substitutions. There was Ait Nouri, Adama, Neto, and Jose.
yeah,
Ait Nouri 6 for me. Thought he didn't have a too bad of 45 minutes. Was didn't do a lot wrong.
yeah,
Adama I gave a 4. Didn't really do much when he came on. Didn't really. Yeah, I mean he didn't really do anything, did he? Neto 6. I thought he did quite well. I couldn't really give him higher. He didn't have that much game time, did he? But I thought when he did come on, he did quite well. And William Jose a 5. And for me, the one thing I'll say about William Jose is, you've got to give him time, but we're going to have to base him off only half a season. And it might not even be that if we see Jimenez come back sooner than expected. 22 million release clause again at 29 years old. Not for me from what I've seen so far, but very harsh because, players take time to adapt, but unfortunately he's not going to have time to impress because he's going to have half a season before we have to make the decision. Do you want to just quickly summarize your points?
I'll jump on that. Yeah, Ait Nouri. I'm happy with a 6. I do agree. It's a shame we've got such good cover there. Him and Johnny. The positive is if we do get another injury there, it does look positive moving forward. I can't see him getting past Johnny though once Johnny's fully fit, which might hinder Ait Nouri's playing time. We'll see if we make that deal permanent this summer. I can't see it for the release clause, 18 million. Maybe we can go in with a smaller bid. I'd like to see him join. I think him and Hoover moving forward in the next 2 or 3 years, they're both 18 and 20.
But look, we might have Johnny for another 5 years.
Exactly. So
he's just signed a 5-year deal. So
yeah, exactly. Moving on to Neto again. Yeah, he's been a player of the season. So today's that burst of energy that we kind of missed before he came on. I'm happy to give him a 6 as well. Didn't really do much wrong. Didn't have a chance to make a stamp on the game. I'll go to Adama. Not much to say. I think he tried a little bit. It's funny. I noticed him. He bounced off 2 players quite forcefully and stayed on his feet.
Maybe we should reward him for that. Actually, staying on his feet.
How have you done that? And then you see him falling over at other times. Didn't do much. Didn't have much time. Maybe 5. William Jose 3. I've not been impressed since he's come in. He started a few games. Fell over David Luiz's knee. Has he won a header in the box yet? I know we don't put as many crosses in anymore, but I've seen nothing of Jose 3. I know he didn't have much game time. Maybe I am being a little bit harsh. Let me know.
I mean, look, I think we've both touched on the fact it's hard to adapt straight into the Premier League, even at 29. Maybe people should consider that when you talk about Fabio Silva. It's obviously taken Jose time to adapt, and he's 29, not 18. So for me, I guess that's with Jose. We'll have to see, but not for me at the moment. I guess that's our first after-match thoughts and player ratings. Unfortunately, it couldn't be a bit more positive, but there we go. We're a new channel, guys, so please like, subscribe. Standard thing there, but wet and flexes when I say this. Leave a comment, have we been harsh at all on any of the ratings? Do you blame Nuno? Would you have actually liked him to prioritise the league over the cup? Maybe we've just got it wrong. I do feel a lot would have liked to have seen us go for the cup though. And yeah, we'll see you on the next video. Our next video releases tomorrow, carrying on from our series that we've done on player rating so far this season. Video 1 released today, the defenders video, and tomorrow the midfielders video. So check those out, and please like and subscribe.
Cheers, guys. Take care.
Thanks, guys. Bye.